what if I controlled an entire alliance in TEW IX, the wrestling management game? I created a brand new alliance called the Territorial Wrestling Alliance, and I'm bringing together 3 new promotions that I had created, each with different regions, styles, and funds. And they're all going to be regions in America, and they're based off of the National Wrestling Alliance, famous, wrestling alliance. That basically dominated professional wrestling before the rise of Vince McMahon's WWF. The 3 different companies we are going to be in charge of is, first of all, Five Shores Wrestling, ran by Shark Boy, because based in Great Lakes, it's called Five Shores Wrestling. Shark Boy is based in the Great Lakes, and he's a shark, so it's Shark Boy. We are going to be the King's Road, which is going to be like a American strong style promotion. We start with $84,000 with our roster. We'll go over the rosters throughout the shows because some of them are as you can see, some of them are loaned to us, so it's a little bit of a mess right now. But then we have the Central Wrestling Association with $70,000, and their style is a throwback to the NWA style. They're very old school, basically just old school wrestling, based on making it look as real as possible, not a lot of high flying moves and everything like that. And it's also got the smallest roster of them. We're based in the Midwest, and there's definitely not a lot of talent available in the Midwest, so we're definitely going to struggle a little bit with them, but I think that makes it more fun for the challenge. Next we have Metroline Wrestling, which is based in the Tri-State. It's the biggest of the shows. Financially, I should say it's the biggest because we're $100,000 total. We are tiny size, so we may be the smallest, but we have the biggest talent pool because this is the main our roster here. I think our 2 top stars being Masha Slamovich and Brian Myers. We also have Tommy Dreamer, Match Striker on commentary, so it's owned by Shane Douglas. So this is definitely going to be the bigger, overall it's going to end up being probably the bigger one, I can say, but I guess we'll have to see. But Metroline is it's urban strong style. I'm thinking Ring of Honor with a little bit of ECW mixed in. I think that's a perfect example of what this could be. So yeah, I'm going to be in full control of all 3 companies throughout this. The way that I set things up to start with is for the next 3 weeks, we're going to have a show, but it's going to be a different promotion each week. So we're going to start off with Five Shores. Then I believe we go to Central Wrestling, right? Am I right by that? Am I correct on that one? I was wrong. It's going to be Metroline. And then we have Central Wrestling Alliance after that. The TWA has its own set of titles, the heavyweight, the women's tag team, and then the women's. And then we also have the men's cup and the women's cup. This is going to be a tournament, and we are starting off this series with the tournament. So from the span of all 3 shows, we're going to have that tournament, and it's going to be ending at Central Wrestling Alliance, where we're going to crown the first ever TWA Heavyweight Championship and the TWA Women's Championship. Each company will eventually have its own set of titles, but right now I'm not putting them in. But I've done a whole lot of explaining. Let's go ahead and get into our first ever show for the Alliance and the first ever show of Five Shores Wrestling. We start off our show with Joe Alonzo defeating Alex Colon to advance in the TWA Men's Cup Tournament. This had a wrestling rating of 47, crowd rating of 24, segment rating of 46. Joe Alonzo with a 39 performance, Alex Colon with a 54 performance. Silas Young did not do well with being a road agent, so that's good to be noted. I put him as a road agent because the only road agent we had was Brian Myers. I tried and I failed. And this match was a little too short. It's going to be kind of what it is right now. We're just trying to get this tournament out of the way. We'll have better matches once we continue that, but overall still not terrible, I don't think. 46 performance. I mean, having 125 people here, 46 segment rating, I think that's a really good thing to have. Yeah, and I think this is the same deal, it looks like. Layla Hirsch defeats Nevaeh with a wrestling rating of 50, crowd rating of 27, segment rating of 50. Layla Hirsch with a 59, Nevaeh with a 41. And Nevaeh was also off her game, but wasn't terrible with a 41 performance. Match was too short, and Silas Young did not do well. But overall, like I said, it's still pretty good. This advanced the Women's Cup Tournament. Layla Hirsch continues. And there's only 2 Women's Cup matches. Well, I guess 3 total. A little bit short there with the Women's Cup. But anyways, Layla Hirsch now advances to the finals of the Women's Cup. Our next Women's Cup match, the Reckless defeats Alicia Fox with a wrestling rating of 41, crowd rating of 19, segment rating of 38. Now the Reckless advances in the Women's Cup Tournament to the finals. Alicia Fox with a 42 performance, Heather Reckless with a 40. Again, it was short. That match did not do terribly great, but it is what it is. In our main event, event, Brian Myers defeats Bobby Stevenson with a wrestling rating of 43, a crowd rating of 28, summary rating of 45, Bobby with a 43, Brian Myers with a 44. Great performance from this. I mean, I guess it was not a great performance. I mean, we had better matches, but this one was still pretty good. Again, Silas Young. I think he ended up being the road agent for all of those, which I guess I should have manually selected the road agent because that did not do us any favors, but it didn't lose us popularity. So I guess it is what it is. I guess it's a pretty common phrase here. Go ahead and let's compliment some people. Oh, I do need to say our commentary team was Val Capone and Matt Rhodes, by the way. Compliment Layla Hirsch and Nevaeh because I think they both did really well. And we lost money. That's sad. We start off Metroline, Central Line with Heather Reckless defeating Layla Hirsch to win the first ever TWA Women's Cup, and she wins the first ever TWA Women's title. Set a wrestling rating of 44, crowd rating of 25, segment rating of 49. Layla Hirsch with a 54 performance, Heather Reckless with a 34 performance. I have a plan. This is going to be a way to build up Layla Hirsch a little bit more, and also build up Heather Reckless right now, and then obviously Layla is definitely more fit, but I feel like this gives a little more attention to Heather Reckless. In case you were wondering why I made that decision, because obviously I knew this would have been the result, but it did really well with a 49 performance. And then we have Alex Colon defeating Masada with a wrestling rating of 54, crowd rating of 28, summary rating of 54. Alex Colon with a 56, Masada with a 51. Both great performance here in a hardcore match. And then we have Warhorse defeating Rahul Raju with a wrestling rating of 45, crowd rating of 23, summary rating of 47. Warhorse with a 47, Raju with a 43. Warhorse continues in the Men's Cup tournament. And then we have Janaya Kai defeating Carissa Rivera with a wrestling rating of 26, crowd rating of 22, summary rating of 24. This match did terrible with Carissa with a 20 performance, Janaya with a 32 performance. Yikes. Dragged in the middle. It was definitely too long. Janaya Kai, Carissa and Janaya Kai, I guess I could have continued that. They don't click at all, which I can see why. And then we have another Men's Cup tournament match where Warhorse defeats Tommy Dreamer with a wrestling rate of 30, crowd rating of 29, summary rating of 35. Warhorse with a 26 performance, Tommy Dreamer with a 35 performance. Actually surprised by that. Was not expecting Tommy Dreamer to be the better performer of the two, but Warhorse was off his game, and so was Tommy Dreamer. There's a lot of sinker matches. Yeah, this one wasn't the best either. But Brian Myers defeats Joe Alonzo with a wrestling rate of 42, crowd rating of 28, and a summary rating of 45. Brian Myers with a 45 performance, Alonzo with a 39 performance, and the match was short. I guess I did not mean to do that. Maybe that would have made it into the 50s. I don't know. But you live and you learn, I guess. But anyways, Brian Myers continues in the tournament, and I believe we were in the finals. The final. I should have known that. I'm making the tournament. But in the next CWA show, we will crown the first ever Men's Cup tournament winner and the first ever TWA heavyweight champion. And we gotta upgrade our music. Let's go ahead and let's compliment Tommy Dreamer because he stuck out to me as a good performer. And let's do Alex Colon as well. Give a little love to the veterans here. We actually made money here with 1,413 and gained popularity in a few regions here. We start the CWA Great Plains Proving Ground with a technical masterclass from Bobby Stevenson, and he defeated Alex Kane with a wrestling rating of 52, crowd rating of 26, summary rating of 49. Alex Kane with a 58 performance, Bobby Stevenson with a 46 performance. And this one we definitely gotta focus on gimmicks, but it looks like everyone has great gimmicks here except for PJ Black, so we got to remember that. And PJ Black was an awful referee. He is a referee that's probably not going to stick. PJ Black is also the owner, so that's who I'm controlling. Not going to stick. I just don't have a referee, and there's none in the Midwest, so that's going to be something we're going to have to take care of, and we'll definitely have to outsource, find someone outside the Midwest to be a referee, because yeah, we need a referee. PJ Black is not working, unfortunately, but it's a wrestling rating of 52, crowd rating of 26, summary rating of 49 if I didn't say it already, so not terrible, but definitely could be a lot better. Then we have Brian Myers being interviewed by Jay Rose. He struggled going off script, and then John Thorne did not do well as a road agent. It's going to be pretty expected. Our road agents are not going to be very good. Yep, okay, 43. And this match sucked. Brent Oakley and Chase Holiday defeats one called Manders and Mr. Anderson, but Mr. Anderson was attacked by Zilla Fatu. Interesting. 15. Mr. Anderson with a 38 performance. One man Manders was the only one that really performed well with a 52. Chase Holiday behind him with a 42, and then Brent Oakley with a 26. Yeah, Mr. Anderson was off his game, and then so was Brent. Everyone did okay again, but their gimmicks though. So another match that did not do well. Big Swole defeated Aaliyah James. The rest in rain of 30. Crowd rain of 15. Summer rain of 25. And then we have Warhorse being interviewed by Jay Rose. This had a summer rain of 38. And then in our main event, this show was ultimately a bust. Brian Myers defeats Warhorse to win the first ever TWA Men's Cup, and also he is now the first ever TWA Heavyweight Championship. At 37, actually increased our popularity in 3 regions. We got to up our production values, but our first show that increased popularity, even though it was our worst show of the 3. I believe CWA is the lowest popularity show we have, so that makes sense. Let's compliment one man called Manders. One called Manders. Why do I keep saying one? Can take some getting used to. Let's also compliment, who was the guy that did the bet? Chase Holiday. He was the other one. Go ahead and point these guys out as good examples, and we lost $2,000 with that show. Game popularity in Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and Maritimes. I don't know. I've never actually tried to pronounce that before. Probably for that reason. So clearly, throughout the 3 companies, we have a lot of work to do. We finished our first 3 shows, found our first champions, but we have a lot of work to go to make overall just a better product for our shows. Let's do, well, I'm thinking about it though. Let's go ahead and increase our production. So let's increase our production there. We are on, all 3 shows are on Independent Wrestling TV. And so we got to increase our production a little bit, but not a lot.
Hey, quick question. Do you want more from Mindset TEW? Then it's time to join the Mindset TEW Elite membership program. This isn't just another subscription. It's a badge of honor for the real ones who want to support the channel and get rewarded while they're at it. When you become part of the Elite, you get access to early videos before they drop publicly, exclusive members-only content made just for you, content from the vault, those discontinued uploads you can't find anywhere else. And on top of that, you get custom loyalty badges that evolve the longer you're Elite, and emojis you can flex in live chats, premieres, and comments. It's more content, more access, and more connection with the Mindset TEW community. So, if you've been rocking with the channel, if you love TEW, the strategy, the passion, the mindset, this is your moment. Click that join button to take your seat in the locker room with the best of the best. Welcome to the next level. Welcome to the grind. Welcome to Mindset TEW Elite.
We are back here at FSW Highwater 2, and we start off the show with Myron Reed defeating Tracy Williams with a Skywalker. This is a pretty good match here, but the rest rating of 56, crowd at 26, segment rating of 57. Myron Reed with the 52, Tracy Williams with a 59. Then we have the TWA Women's Championship match. Heather Reckless defeats Masha Slamovich to defend her championship. Set a wrestling rating of 45, crowd rating of 30, segment rating of 50. Heather with a 37, Masha with a 54. Joe Alonzo defeats Paco Gonzalez and one called Manders. Looks like Joe Alonzo was the weakest link, but I went ahead and made him because he was the youngest, I believe. I think Paco is older, but I just want to build up an older group of people. I mean, a younger, sorry. But yeah, that was much worse. This had a wrestling rating of 46, crowd rating of 25, summer rating of 46. Warhorse defeats Gringo Loco with a wrestling rating of 53, crowd rating of 31, summer rating of 55. Warhorse with a 52, Gringo with a 54. I think that was a really good show. Yeah, increased our popularity in 18 regions. I believe that one was the best show that we've done. Let's go ahead. Can't remember anybody's ratings. I know Myron Reed, and let's just do these 2 guys from the first match here because I remember they stuck out to me. Compliment them. Oh, we lost a lot of money. Yeah, we gained popularity pretty much everywhere that we have access to. Pretty good. We start Metroline, Central Line with Tracy Williams defeating LSG. This had a wrestling rating of 45, a crowd rating of 21, segment rating of 50. Tracy Williams with a 53, LSG with a 37. Tracy Williams is on Metroline. I think he's been on a few shows, but Metroline is his actual company, so that's where you'll be seeing him the most from now on. Layla Hirsch defeats Janaya Kai. Ooh, why did that match do so poorly? This had a wrestling rating of 34, crowd rating 24, segment rating of 37. I think I did a brawl. Is that why did so badly. Layla was punished because of her stamina, her inconsistency, and then was punished for trying to go all out. So maybe Layla's just not good for this type of, maybe she's not good for this type of promotion, being the urban strong style, I believe is what we are. I already forgot. Anyways, keep it going here. Brian Myers defeats Casey Navarro to make his first defense of the TWA heavyweight title. This had a wrestling rating of 40, crowd rating of 27, segment rating of 42. Brian Myers with a 41, Casey Navarro with a 39, and Casey Navarro debuted his gimmick, which got a rating of great. I don't think gimmicks really matter too much though. MJ Jenkins defeated Carissa Rivera with a wrestling rating of 28, crowd rating of 18, segment rating of 24. MJ Jenkins with a 32 performance, Carissa with a 24, and yeah, we need to figure this out. We don't have a great women's division here. We have Masha Slamovich, who is actually injured, and that was going to be kind of the star of Metroline, which is my plan. So once she comes back, then that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on pushing her. Layla Hirsch was also on that list, but clearly Layla Hirsch did not do so well. We're going to try a different match with she's not doing a wild brawl, but yeah, we definitely gotta take a look at this women's division and see if there's something better we can do. But anyways, Alex Colon, shoot, I didn't make this match the right length. Anyways, Alex Colon defeats Tommy Dreamer and Masada to win the Metroline title. This had a wrestling rating of 49, crowd rating of 29, 7 rating of 51. Alex Colon with a 63, Tommy Dreamer with a 37, Masada with a 47. Tommy Dreamer performed low, but it looks like it didn't hurt too much. I'll keep that noted for the future. I'm sure Tommy Dreamer was bad because of everything too. Yeah, I don't know. I want to have Tommy Dreamer, but I don't know. I don't think this is really the place for him. But I wanted to have the Metroline title, and I'm gonna have, every company is gonna have its own set of titles, but I want to have a good reason for them. And I felt like with Metroline having being more of a hardcore company, having its own title was probably the best thing to do, because unfortunately I don't see like any of these three guys, the main people being Alex Colon and Masada. I don't see any of those guys winning the world titles, but they're the top guys in the company, so I want to be able to give them some gold here. But I don't really know if a TWA hardcore belt would be great, because not anyone else is really going to be fit for that. So that's the reasoning behind it. And let's go ahead and finish the show and see how we did. We got a 49 rating, increased in 18 regions, so I think we're on the come up. I think we are on the come up. Let's go ahead and let's compliment Alex Colon for sure, because he did really well. And then let's do Tracy Williams. I was looking at Tommy Dreamer's name, but that's not who I wanted. We made some money here, so Metroline is definitely the most profitable company we got. Yeah, it looks like we're doing really well here, so we are definitely on the rise. So I want to address the title of this is going to be my forever save. Basically, nothing's really off limits. I think having the alliance is a good way to kind of bounce around throughout and try different things. I'm going to keep this going as long as I can. I'm going to try to update the rosters as much as I can. I'm also going to try to not simulate as much, just so we can go ahead and get, we're not going super far in the future, but it also doesn't really matter at the same time, because we are going to be working on developing young stars and keeping things going for a long time. So I think it's pretty simple when you say forever save, but in case you didn't know, we are going to be trying to make this go as long as we can. Companies will come, we'll add more companies in the future, and we also might even step away from some companies just to keep ourselves kind of going and not feeling like we have to be held back. I think that's an important thing to notice there, that having the control of the alliance means that not necessarily we will be micromanaging all of these companies all the time. Here at CWA's Great Plains Proving Ground 2, Bobby Stevenson defeats Gary J with a wrestling rating of 41, crowd rating of 20, 7 rating of 35. Bobby Stevenson with a 43, Gary J with a 38. And it looks like their storyline here with Alex Kane and Bobby Stevenson lost heat. I have Alex Kane sitting ringside. During this match, some tension definitely is building up between the two. PJ Black was awful as a referee, still kind of suffering the referee situation here. This isn't a good. Aaliyah James defeats Alicia Fox with a wrestling rate of 27, crowd rating of 14, 7 rating of 21, and Aaliyah James sustained a ankle injury. That's not good. And obviously Aaliyah James was slowed by her injury, and then Dick Myers was an awful referee, probably because he's not actually a referee. Big Swole is interviewed with Jay Rose, and she says that she is coming coming for Heather Reckless. It doesn't matter where it is, when it is, but all she knows is she's coming for Heather Reckless and that TWA women's title, and it's got a summer rating of 49. A new tag team here of the Twin Towers, which is Carson Drake and Dick Myers, defeats, I think I just said Twin Towers, by the way. I meant Twin Terrors was the actual name. If I didn't say Twin Towers, then we'll act like I didn't say it, and if I did say it, we'll act like I didn't say it. I don't know, but they defeat the team of Chris Jackson and Cappuccino Jones. Anyways, this had a wrestling rating of 26, crowd rating of 13, summer rating of 25, Carson Drake with a 32, Dick Myers with the 21, Cappuccino Jones with a 25, Chris Jackson with a 25. This roster's tough. This is a tough roster here. I kind of knew Chris Jackson and Cappuccino Jones would do pretty poor, but these two were a little bit higher up in popularity and skill, at least I thought, but which is why I made him a tag team. But anyways, speaking of tag teams, one Manderson, aka one called Manders, I think, and then Mr. Anderson. I put them as a tag team together because I thought it was a good name, defeating Fatu and Vidal. One Manderson wins the TWA tag team titles. They are the first ever TWA tag team champions. Looks like one called Manders, I literally cannot say his name correctly, but it looks like one called Manders carried this match with a wrestling rating of 41, crowd rating of 27, summer rating of 39. Daniel Vidal with the 31, Zilla Fatu with the 39, Mr. Anderson with the 37, and one called Manders with a 56. He may be the best performer on this roster, honestly. Very good match from him. Bad match overall, though. And then we have PJ Black defeating Allen Angels with a wrestling rating of 31, crowd rating of 24, summer rating of 29. Both men with a 31 performance, and then obviously Dick Myers did bad as a referee. After the match, Allen Angels attacks PJ Black, and that is the end of our show. We increased our popularity in 18 regions. We gotta upgrade our production values, and I wonder if that's gonna help us out a lot. Where did we even increase our popularity at? Let's call it Manders. I wish I could pronounce his name better, because this would be better. Who performed well? To be honest, I don't think anyone really stuck out to me. Let's just call out, let's give him credit. Big Swat is a good example. I think she did okay. Didn't seem like that killed anything. Okay, so Aaliyah is going to be out for 7 days. That's fine. We're not going to be affected by that. We lost $2,000. Oh, so we gained popularity pretty much everywhere in North America. I'm pretty surprised and impressed by that. Now that we have a couple shows in, I think it's important to go ahead and set up our inner circle. So if you look at inner circle here, our locker room leaders are Jerry Lynn and Hoodfoot. Head of talent relations is Jerry Lynn. Same with our senior road agent. He is also Jerry Lynn. Mr. Anderson is both our men and women's trainer, and then Chris Jackson is the travel organizer. The chief enforcers are Hoodfoot, Jerry Lynn, and Mr. Anderson. Right now, I just went ahead and just made Jerry Lynn part of the team. I don't know how long we'll have just him. The other options are Chase Holiday, Jerry Rose, and Hoodfoot. And I definitely don't want to overwork Hoodfoot. And plus, Jerry Rose is actually pretty good. I'll put Jerry Rose in because him and Jerry Lynn are both over 50 looking skill, so I think that's pretty good. And I will like to have another person that's not Jerry Lynn, just because Jerry Lynn is in AEW and I actually 100 days. So usually how these saves work is that in 100 days he'll probably get signed an exclusive contract, but actually I'm not too sure because he's also the CEO of Ring of Honor. So actually we may be fine. I think worst case scenario is in a year he will sign an exclusive contract to Ring of Honor, but let's hope that doesn't happen. And also we got a year, so we got a year to figure it out. But having J Rose as like a backup booker I think is a good idea. He's in GCW and DPW. I don't think they will be signing him to an exclusive contract anytime soon. So that is our inner circle and booking teams for Central Wrestling Association. Our team for Five Shores Wrestling is actually very small because we have no locker room leaders. The only actual eligible one is Hoodfoot. Sorry, I saw Ace Steel here, but he's not Hoodfoot. But Hoodfoot does not work here. Normally he's just here on a loan, so it'd be kind of pointless to make him a locker room leader because after one show he will be gone. No head of talent relations, no senior road agents. Actually, I think we can do. I don't know why I didn't do road agent. Yes, so let's make Ace Steel the head road agent. Gringo Loco is the head men's trainer, and then Warhorse is the travel organizer. What I wonder what does a travel organizer even do? I never even really thought about it. I mean, clearly I know what it does in terms of like the game, but in terms of like the lore of the game, but what does it actually do for me? Does it actually do anything? I'm not sure. Because really the only thing I can see, if I just read it and didn't skip through it, I'd see they get it's just, I guess it just gives them a regular morale boost one time, it looks like. I don't know if it's worth it, but it's whatever. We'll be paying them more. No chief enforcers, because the only one good enough was Hoodfoot. No more morale officer, because it always ends badly for whoever is the morale officer, and they don't want that. Senior referee is Dan Perch. Head women's trainer is a Steel, and hopefully doesn't bite them. And let's go ahead and focus on our, god dang it, Hoodfoot. This guy, I've never even heard of this guy before, but apparently he's like the greatest backstage guy ever. I have no idea. He's literally available for everything. So we don't have a booking team right now. Is there literally no other options? I mean, can't I just put someone in here, right? How do I do that? Has bookings, minimum booking skill, any? So I could put somebody in here. Like who would be like a good option to kind of like mentor? Does anyone have like a good trait? Crowbar would not be happy if I took him off. So I guess that's probably a no. Horse wouldn't be good. I guess it doesn't really matter as long as it's not negative. Can't be Hoodfoot. I'm trying to think of someone that wouldn't be leaving me anytime soon. Let's actually, you know what? I'm gonna think of a different way. Let's do Rahu. I don't know how to say his name. That might be a problem. But he's older. He's 45. I think he's probably a good option just because he's, like I said, it gives him something to do once he retires. Gringo Loco might be nice too, but he's a little more active, so I feel like the chance of losing him is higher. I don't know. So let's do Rahu. Right? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That was awful. Rahu. I think it's Rahu. Should probably stop. Just not working. The name's not working. Our team for Metroline Wrestling is Tommy Dreamer, locker room leader, the only one. Tommy Dreamer is also senior road agent. Masha Slanovich is the men and women's trainer. Lucky Haskins is the senior referee, and Tommy Dreamer is the chief enforcer. And I believe that once I do booking team, the only real one with a lot of skills is Tommy Dreamer. So Tommy Dreamer is Mr. Metroline Wrestling. But I think that makes sense. It being a New York company, that's kind of the point. I think Tommy Dreamer is a great addition here. And that's about it. That's all I really got. I think with Shane Douglas being the booker of Metroline, he's the only one with actual skill, I believe, like booking skill. Let's see. Yeah, Shark Boy doesn't have it, and PJ Black has a 4 reputation. I don't know if he just gained that from here. I have no idea. Let me know anything you want to see from this series, anything at all. Whether it's new challenges to do inside this series, new company ideas, wrestler gimmick ideas. I want to play around with wrestler gimmicks, anything. Any storyline ideas, anything. But that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.